nodule, solitary cold nodule. And yes, a very important MCQ that has been repeatedly asked in lot of examinations, repeatedly asked, that the question is whether you can diagnose follicular adenoma and follicular carcinoma of thyroid on FNAC. FNAC means fine needle aspiration cytology. So what will be the answer to this question? Can you diagnose follicular adenoma and follicular carcinoma of thyroid on FNAC? No, the answer is no. We cannot diagnose these both the conditions on FNAC. What is the reason? Why you cannot diagnose? Because on FNAC we cannot comment on the capsular invasion or the vascular invasion. Okay, because on FNAC we cannot comment on whether the capsule is invaded by the tumor cells or the blood vessels are invaded by the tumor cells. We cannot comment on that. And this particular feature, capsular invasion or the vascular invasion, is the striking differentiating feature between a follicular adenoma and a follicular carcinoma of thyroid. So in follicular carcinoma you will see capsular invasion and vascular invasion, whereas in case of follicular adenoma the capsule is intact. There is no capsular invasion and there is no follicular invasion. But again, important MCQ, I told you, can you diagnose these cases on FNAC? No, you cannot diagnose. Then how will you diagnose? You can diagnose this case on the histopathological examination, on a biopsy. So for example, take a clinical scenario like a patient comes to with the thyroid enlargement, comes to the surgeon's OPD. Okay, now the surgeon, he orders what? He orders the FNAC. Now this patient comes to the pathologist. So what a pathologist does? A pathologist does the FNAC under all aseptic precautions. And now after the slide is prepared, the smears are prepared, they are stained, and we pathologists look those cytological slides under the microscope, and after that we cannot comment. Okay, we cannot comment. We see there are follicles, there are clusters of follicles of the thyroid cells, of the follicular cells, but we cannot comment whether it's an adenoma or it's a carcinoma. So then the same patient undergoes a surgery, and then we get the specimen and the biopsy is done, and on histopathological examination we can comment whether there is capsular or vascular invasion. Then thumbs up, it's a follicular carcinoma of thyroid, and if there is no vascular or capsular invasion, then okay, it's a case of follicular adenoma, it's a benign thyroid neoplasm. Okay, I hope the case clinical scenario is understood to all of you. Okay, so now moving further, now we'll talk about the first carcinoma, that is the papillary carcinoma of the thyroid. So papillary carcinoma is generally seen in the age group of 20 to 40 years, and in my previous session I told you that thyroid disorders, all the thyroid disorders are most commonly seen in the females only. Okay, females are more prone to thyroid disorders, so females are more commonly involved than males. And yes, a very important MCQ, prognosis. What about the prognosis of papillary carcinoma? So it is associated with an excellent prognosis. Okay, excellent prognosis. So this is a very important MCQ. Amongst all the thyroid carcinomas, which thyroid carcinoma is associated with the best prognosis? So the answer is the best prognosis is of the papillary thyroid carcinoma. Okay, so another important MCQ, obviously it is associated with best prognosis because it has a least malignant potential. It has a least malignant potential. Okay, so now I am going to give you now 4 important MCQs. Okay, 4 important MCQ regarding the most common of papillary thyroid carcinoma. Okay, so the number 1 MCQ is that papillary thyroid carcinoma, it is the most common thyroid carcinoma overall. By overall I mean that amongst all the thyroid carcinoma, which is the most common thyroid carcinoma? So the answer is papillary thyroid carcinoma is the most common thyroid carcinoma amongst the all thyroid carcinomas. Second important MCQ, that papillary carcinoma of thyroid is the most common thyroid carcinoma in children. Okay, it is the most common thyroid carcinoma in children. Okay, next important MCQ, that papillary thyroid carcinoma, it is the most common thyroid carcinoma which is associated with radiation exposure, in the head and neck region. Okay, radiation exposure in the head and neck region. Another important MCQ, the last one, that the papillary carcinoma, it is the most common thyroid carcinoma seen in cases of thyroglossal cyst. In cases of thyroglossal cyst. So these are the 4 important most common MCQs related to papillary carcinoma of thyroid. Okay. So now after this we move to the genetics part. What are the genetical alterations that takes place and that are involved in the pathogenesis of papillary carcinoma of thyroid? So the number one is, now listen to me very carefully, the terminologies, okay, the terminologies I'm going to use, listen to me carefully. Later on in my session I'll tell you why I am stressing on the terminology, because examiner take advantage of it and they try to confuse all of you. So in the genetic alterations of papillary carcinoma thyroid, there is rearrangement, okay, there is rearrangement of RET PTC, there is rearrangement of RET PTC, and also there is BRAF gene mutation and RAS gene mutation. So these are the 2 genetic alterations, that there is rearrangement of RET PTC and there is BRAF mutation and RAS gene mutation. Okay, so now what all histological points that you need to remember, okay, what all histological features that you need to remember if you want to diagnose a case of papillary thyroid carcinoma under your microscope. So what are the histological features? So as the name itself suggests, papillary carcinoma, papillae, okay, so there is presence of, the first feature is that there is presence of papillae, okay, the name itself is suggesting, and here the papillae are true papillae. Why? Because they have a fibrovascular core, because they have a fibrovascular core. And now there are certain important nuclear features of papillary thyroid carcinoma which are very peculiar and very striking for the papillary thyroid carcinoma, these nuclear features. So you need to remember all these features because they are very important for your MCQ point of view. Okay, so what are these nuclear features? So the number one is that there will be presence of optically clear nuclei. There will be presence of optically clear nuclei. So normally a nucleus is like this. Normally a nucleus is blue in color. You all know that normally a nucleus looks blue in color. But now in case of papillary carcinoma, there is clear nuclei. Clear nuclei mane khali nuclei. It's empty, it's khali, okay, it's clear nuclei. And the another term that is given to optically clear nuclei, it is also called as orphan Ani nuclei. It is also called as orphan Ani nuclei. Why I am giving this term? Because there is a cartoon character by the name Orphan Annie. Okay, there is a cartoon character by the name Orphan Annie, and I'll show you the image as well later on. So this cartoon character Orphan Annie has clear eyes. It has khali eyes. Okay, so that is why they have clear eyes. Okay, so this cartoon character generally has clear eyes. They have khali eyes. That's why you have named these on the eyes of the Orphan Annie eye cartoon character. Okay, so this was one feature regarding the nuclear feature, that there is optically clear nuclei or the Orphan Annie nuclei. So the next nuclear feature is that there is presence of nuclear grooves. There presence of nuclear grooves. Nuclear groove means if this is the nuclear, there will be a grooving inside the nucleus, or you can say coffee bean. You all know how coffee bean looks like. So coffee bean shaped nuclei. Coffee bean shaped nuclei. Okay. So next feature is that there will be presence of intranuclear pseudo inclusions. Intranuclear pseudo inclusions. Okay, why I am saying pseudo inclusions? Because one thing I am telling you that there are optically clear nuclei. Another thing I am telling you there are pseudo inclusions. So these pseudo inclusions are actually an artifactual finding. Okay, while sectioning the tissue, we produce this artifactual finding, the intranuclear pseudo inclusions. So if this is the nuclear, you will find certain intranuclear inclusions, and what happens is sometimes what happens, the cytoplasm itself, it is dragged inside the nucleus. The cytoplasm is dragged inside the nucleus and it gives rise to intranuclear cytoplasmic pseudo inclusions, hence the name. same. Intranuclear means inside the nucleus. Cytoplasm means cytoplasm is dragged inside the nucleus. So intranuclear cytoplasmic pseudo inclusions, because it's an artifactual finding. Okay. So after that, another important nuclear feature is there is presence of Psammoma bodies. And what are Psammoma bodies? They are the calcification, dystrophic calcification. They are the calcification in the lamellated form. Okay, the concentric form or the lamellated form of deposition of the calcium, called as Psammoma bodies. Okay, a very important MCQ, that which is the most common route of spread of the papillary carcinoma of thyroid. So the answer to that MCQ is the most common route is the lymphatic route. Okay, so papillary carcinoma of thyroid has a lymphatic route of spread. Okay. So after this, understanding the histological pictures, now I want all of you to have a look at this histological picture, and what is the first impression, the first thinking that comes to your mind after seeing this picture is, I can see lot of papillae. I can see lot of papillae. Okay, I can appreciate that there is like a tree branching kind of a thing, that there is lot of papillae. Okay. So the first striking feature is I am seeing that there are lot of papillae. Okay, so that means first feature हमारा checklist done, that papillae are present. Okay, so now after this we move to a certain higher magnification power. Okay, so if I move to this higher magnification power and I have focused on this papilla. Okay. So this is the papilla that I have focused on the higher magnification power. Can you see what is this? This is the fibrovascular core. That is why I told you it's a true papilla. This is the fibrovascular core that is running inside the papilla, and all these cells are the tumor cells. They are the tumor cells. Okay? They are the tumor cells. Understood? So papilla checklist done, and now I have seen the higher magnification also, and I have appreciated that there is fibrovascular core. Then again a checklist में correct हमने tick mark कर दिया कि okay, it's a true papilla. Okay, so now after this, now I am moving to this histological picture. What I am seeing here? Okay, so I told you that there is a cartoon character. So if you look at this cartoon character, this is an Orphan Annie eye. Okay, Orphan Annie cartoon character. So can you appreciate the eyes? Can you appreciate the eyes? The eyes are what? Khali khali. The eyes are clear. That is why if you appreciate all these cells, can you appreciate all these cells? They are clear. They are clear. Okay. See, all these cells are optically clear, also called as Orphan Annie eye. Okay. Can you appreciate optically clear nuclei? So this is optically clear nuclei. Okay, so now after this we move to another histological image. Now look at this very closely. I'll magnify it a little more for all of you so it's easier for all of you. Okay, so this arrowhead, can you see this arrowhead? What is showing? What it is showing? That there is a, okay, so this is nucleus and this is what? An inclusion. So this is what? This is an intranuclear pseudo inclusion. Okay, intranuclear pseudo inclusion. Now can you appreciate these? Look at this. This is the nuclear groove. Look at this grooving. Okay, this is what is grooving, 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 grooving. So they are what? They are the nuclear grooving. Okay, that is why it is also called as coffee bean shaped nuclei. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So now we move to the next histological picture. Okay, so now I have magnified it again so that it is easier for all of you. So now can you appreciate these arrowheads? What are these? What are these? These are again intranuclear pseudo inclusions. Okay, intranuclear pseudo inclusions. Okay, so now we move further. What is this? What is this? I told you the last feature. The last feature. What was that? What is this? This is a Psammoma body. This is what? This is a psammoma body. Okay, so now as I told you, I have incorporated certain cytological pictures. So this is how a papillary carcinoma thyroid looks on a FNAC slide, on a cytological slide. So can you again appreciate? Very beautiful papillary pattern, like a branches of a tree. Okay, so these are the papilla. These are the papilla that we look on a cytological slide in a case of papillary thyroid carcinoma. So if I go on a higher magnification and look at the individual cell property, okay, individual cell property के लिए, so I went on a higher magnification and I'm magnifying it more for all of you. Can you appreciate this cell? What is this cell showing? This cell is showing you intranuclear pseudo inclusion. Intranuclear pseudo inclusion. Can you appreciate this cell? What it is showing? There is a nuclear grooving. Can you see nuclear grooving? Can you see nuclear grooving? Nuclear grooving. Nuclear grooving. Okay, so there is nuclear grooving. So all these are features of papillary carcinoma thyroid. So this is how a cytological slide looks under your microscope of a case of papillary carcinoma thyroid. Okay, so now we move further. So this was about the various histological and cytological points regarding the papillary carcinoma of thyroid. So now we move to there are certain variants of papillary carcinoma of thyroid. There are a lot of variants, but I have incorporated those names which have been asked in your examinations. So the number